Hi, this is Cheryl with another movement exploration. When working with a client who, talks about having a stiff neck or a neck that doesn't allow for a lot of movement, one of the places I really like to check when I work with them, especially in person, is sort of the set of very small muscles that are right at the base of the skull. So they're sort of little fat muscles that if you find the bony edges of your skull and then bring your index finger and your thumb right below, you can feel these sort of little fat muscles. And if you hinge your head a little bit, you'll feel them sort of getting fatter in contraction and then the pull and stretch of them as your chin goes down. And there can be several things that go on when you have a sort of sore, stiff neck. But there's this little element of, particularly when we can kind of get lost in our thoughts. That phrase, like I get into my head and I can't get out and feel disconnected from my body. I do find, that for many clients, these little muscles start to get super rigid. Like there's kind of a connection to that inner mind storm and the level of muscle tone at this little place, in the body. And so a couple things I want to offer that, are helpful to work with, especially when you kind of realize that that kind of intensive mental work kind of catches up with you and you find that you're rigid, is, to do a couple things. So the first, most basic, is this idea of just moving your head, hinging off of that very top vertebrae. So this is just sort of letting your chin go down, letting it go up, so that you can see you're hinging on that top vertebrae rather than rounding your whole neck. And so just that alone, and then that with your fingers sort of gently holding onto these muscles, you can help support them to just go back to their full range of motion and potentially reduce the amount of tension. The other thing that I like to do, like, this catches up with me, say, when I'm on an airplane and traveling and you've got that full travel day and that tension builds, is to just take the soft pads of your index and thumb finger and kind of squeeze these muscles with the quality that you would squeeze a marshmallow to see how fresh it is, like whether it's kind of stiff and rigid or whether it's squishy, so that you're squishing these muscles with a very light, gentle touch. We can have a tendency sometimes when we feel stiff to really want to like grind our fingertips into the muscle. And I don't find this muscle responds that well to the grinding, but this little marshmallowy, you know, touch brings a kind of more suppleness to this. And so you can combine the movement with this very sort of soft, squeezy touch that helps. And, we forget sometimes just in our day-to-day posture, you're reading something, you're on screen. So we tend to kind of round our neck and bring our head forward. And this sets up a whole bunch of work for the back of your neck to hold your head up. And of course, the muscles are designed to do that. But there is a kind of design spec about where the weight of the head should land on your neck. And so it's sort of helpful to try this experiment. So if you round your head down a bit and then turn it side to side until you feel like the natural stopping point, that any further you'd have to really force it, and then come up to more of an upright, check into this hinging notion, and then see about turning side to side just from this hinge. So you'll feel that the back of your neck is a little bit longer And I notice for me, I'm instantly gaining like 20 degrees more rotation from this elongated, upright little muscles below your occiput, below the bottom of your skull, than if you're rounded forward. So it's a good thing to sort of check yourself, like, can I come back and find my hinge on top of my upright neck? Or have I kind of, tired at the end of the day, I've slumped down, and then you're instantly setting up conditions where your neck's going to be, stiffer, harder to rotate, harder to move. So hopefully this is helpful for you. Take good care of your stiff neck and have a good movement day.